Hi, if you own a Dyson V8, like this one here, and if you've owned it for quite a few years, then chances are you will have started to see a couple of issues start to arise. First one will be that the battery doesn't last as long, so although you used to be able to get 40-minute runtime from it, that started to decrease over the years. The other one is that the suction probably isn't as good as it used to be. So rather than just throwing the vacuum away because the battery life isn't that great or the suction isn't that great, then I'll show you a couple of tips and a couple of things to get for the vacuum to get the suction back and to get the battery life back. Just before I start, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up. What I do is I talk about household appliances. I do specialise in cordless vacuums like these, and there's normally a bit of tech in there as well. First of all, I'll concentrate on the runtime of the vacuum. Now, as standard, when it's brand new, this model will normally achieve around 40-minute runtime. Clearly that's going to be on the lowest suction, and it's normally when you're using it, say as a handheld like this, that you can achieve the 40 minutes. If you're going to use it on the maximum suction, so if you're using it on the high power, and if you're using the floor head as well, then you don't get anywhere near that. But anyway, that's another conversation. But really what I want to do is to show you how to get that back. What you will find is that over the years, the battery will deteriorate. It's the same in any product. It's not just Dyson products. If you've got a cordless drill, then anything like that, a electric toothbrush, you'll just find that anything that you recharge, over the years, the battery will start to deteriorate. And it doesn't necessarily just pack up, but in the end, it just gets down to such a short time that you can use it that it just becomes unmanageable. And as I say, rather than throwing it away, then we'd rather do something about it. And the way to do that is to upgrade the battery on this. Now, sometimes people are getting rid of vacuums like this because they didn't know you could change the battery, but it couldn't be easier, and I'm going to show you how to change it. Now, what I've done is I've bought this is a company called Jaeger. This is the box it arrived in. The reason I've gone for this one, I just got it off Amazon, and really the reason is, well, first of all, the price was very good. The feedback that people were leaving was very good, which is always an important one for me. And also it came with a spare filter, but that's the second half of the conversation. But the only thing you'll need is a screwdriver. And you will notice that under here, you've got 2 screws. They just need to be undone. It is recommended, you don't have to empty or open the bin, but it is recommended to. I think, well, I just tried it a little bit beforehand, and you can find it might start to damage the side of the bin. So first of all, before you do anything, go and empty the bin. This is a demo one that we use in the showroom here, and although I have emptied it, I still get a little bit of debris coming out. But anyway, I'll just show you this. So you've got a couple of screws under here. So these are really easy to take out. And then once you've taken those out, I would normally say just pop them to one side because you don't want to lose them. But what Jaeger have done is they've already thought about that, and you will notice that in the box you do get a spare pack of screws. So for me, it's the little things like that that make such a difference. So now we're taking the screws out of the bottom, there is just one final screw on the back here. So you'll see that just there. And use the same screwdriver, just take the screw out. So that's why there's 3 in the packet there. I do like the fact that Jaeger have given us 3 screws, or 3 spare screws. Let's just pop that down. Because you can find, if you're using a small screwdriver, because it's quite stiff to get the screws out, sometimes you can damage the head. So at least they've given us 3 new screws if that situation were to arise. And then all you do, take the old battery out. And then the new battery, to be honest, it looks pretty much the same. Colour is slightly different, but that doesn't really matter. I'll just show you that again. It was just so easy. You just locate it at the bottom, put that on, and that's it. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use those new screws, because I did notice that the head on one of the screws had started to deteriorate a little bit. So now that I've got these screws in place, then what you'll find is that just shut the bin. When it arrives, it is fully charged anyway, and I'll just show you that because you've got the little blue indicators on the side. So it's exactly the same as the original. On the original there is the little indicator on the side, just to show you the battery status. So nothing's changed there. The port at which you charge it, that's still in the same position. So everything about it is the same, but what you'll find now is that we've got the original runtime back. So rather than throwing the vacuum away, that's excellent. The next thing I want to show you is regarding the suction. So to Dyson's credit, they have been making vacuums with washable filters for years. I must say I'm quite an advocate of washable filters. The only thing I will say is that when you've washed the filter, you do have to make sure that the filter is dry before you put it in the vacuum. We have had customers before where they wash it, just probably give it a quick wipe over, leave it on the side for an hour, and then put it back in the vacuum. And then they're surprised when the moisture that's still within the filter will damage the vacuum, and that won't be covered under the manufacturer's warranty or any warranty. So what I normally say is when you buy the vacuum, to go and buy a spare filter. Now what Jaeger have done, when I bought the battery, I suppose the bonus for me is that it came with a new filter as well, so it looks almost the same as the original. But what you will find is that some people, I mean, the Dyson V8 has been around for quite a few years now. I've done quite a few videos on it, things like the cleaning of it, where I've stripped it down. I'll just post a link here to show you how to do that. I'm not going to show you that in detail today, but one of the things I do mention is the filter and the washing of it. There's only so many times you can wash a filter. Some people come to us and they say, well, I've had the vacuum for 6 or 7 years. Even if you've replaced the battery, which is good, the filter itself is still the original filter. And if you're washing it, say, once a month or once every couple of months, that's a lot of washes. And you'll find that even with filters like these, there's only so many times that you can wash it before it starts to deteriorate, or the actual filtration element of it just doesn't work anymore. So that's really my second tip, to just replace the filter. With the Jaeger battery, as I mentioned, you do get this filter with it. So I'll just show you how easy that is. What you need to do is just unpack it, pop it in, and then you're ready to go. You will find if you've suffered with the pulsing of the vacuum, I'll just show you that. If it's making that noise, rather than just putting your hand over it, then that's quite a common problem with Dyson vacuums. It's not that it's faulty at all. It normally comes down to the filter. So by replacing the filter and buying a spare one and popping it in, that can normally solve the problem. Another issue that you can find, or another remedy to help that, just in the end here, I'll just show you another tip. Have a look in there. You probably can't see it that clearly at the moment. Unfortunately the light here isn't that great, but there's a little red flap in there, and you should find that if you pop your finger in there, that should move around quite easily. You can find over time that with the amount of dirt that travels through here, that little red flap in there gets stuck on one side, and that will be another cause of the pulsing of the vacuum. So that's just another cheeky little tip for you for the day. If you're thinking of buying the battery and the filter replacement pack, then I've just provided a link below to show you where to get it at a competitive price. I always knew this was going to be quite a quick video, but I just wanted to show you how to almost rejuvenate the life of your Dyson V8 rather than just throwing it away. So hopefully by replacing the battery on the vacuum and the filter here, and also I suppose the quick maintenance tip of the flap inside, then that should really get the life back in your vacuum, and it saves you having to spend several £100s on going to buy a replacement one. As mentioned earlier, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up, click subscribe, and leave any comments below. I'd always ask for comments, whether it's good or bad, about the video. Also, if you have got any tips yourself for the Dyson V8 or any of the Dyson cordless vacuums, if you've got any maintenance tips that I haven't covered here, then let me know, because I always appreciate the feedback. Thanks for watching.